as a follow-up to what I'm planting in the back garden, this area is really just a bit of an experiment. It gets some sun, but it's where I keep the bins. So what I tend to do is pull the bins out a bit so that the sun goes directly down behind. And we do have some growth actually. We've got some radishes, we have some peas and beans, and there's some tomatoes where you see those sticks. I think I planted some flowers down there as well. I can't remember. I think so. There's some strange looking plants down there. So there's also a lot of beetroot and more peas and beans. And the beans, and there's also a cucumber growing here. I had made a mistake by giving it pride of place, and then I read later that you should never give cucumelons pride of place because they're tiny. So following that advice, I chucked some beans in there, and the beans seem to be really taking off. Actually, these beans are doing the best of all the beans throughout my garden. So I'm quite pleased at that. Then my one of the experiments I embarked upon was what would happen if I planted beans and peas in a shady corridor. This is between my house and my neighbour's house, and I dug out the gravel and replaced it with some potting soil, and they all sprouted. They all seem to be doing quite well. I've put some rope up there for them to train against. They're not going very fast, but they're not going too slow either. They're doing as expected for like a 2 to 3 hour direct sun area. This is just an experiment. On the other hand, my beans, which I had planted a little bit earlier, my climbing beans, seem to be doing pretty well. Not as well as the ones on the drain pipe we just saw, but doing well for a shady area. And here is a butternut squash. It's also climbing. I've put a bit of net there to climb against. You can see the grapevines here. Always give a lot of fruit. Beside it, another courgette plant. Still only male fruit or male flowers coming up on there. Managed to squash in a few beans down the side of my tiles there, and they're surviving. And then in this area, which I've had to protect because my dog loves to seek and destroy, I have a courgette, a new shop bought courgette there actually. I had to buy a new one because she killed a few by jumping in to get her ball. This is a blueberry tree which I saved from my back garden, which was munched every year by the slugs. So I'm giving it a chance in an area which doesn't seem to be known by the slugs as of yet. Then I believe that this is a spaghetti squash, and as you can see, I put a rope through here. My intention is to grow it along here and have fruits hanging off the railings. On the other side there, you'll see the same. That's a musk melon, cantaloupe melon, and we've got some tomato plants in here as well. Here's a tomato plant. It wasn't originally planted here. It was planted in one of the side beds, the south-facing window, but I had to move it here because I realised that it was competing, or it was too close to another plant. Got some chives here, another courgette plant which my dog nearly killed, some little tomato plants. These tomato plants need to be thinned out, muskmelon as I mentioned earlier. What I've done is around the edges, you can't see them yet, I planted some beetroot and some radishes. Moving to the front door view, this big climber here is also a butternut squash, so if you're wondering why my windows look like this, it's because we're in the process of having them renovated. And beside that we've got a really big tomato plant, and in the background there we've got another blueberry bush which has a lot of berries on it, so I can't wait to pick those. And in there is the coriander that I planted in the experiment, the tea bag experiment. I've also, this is a dwarf French bean, by the way. Oh, French bean, sorry, this is a dwarf tomato. And down there I've planted a climbing tomato, or a moneymaker tomato, so hopefully by the time that this guy has is it determinate? I can't remember. It's dwarf anyway, so hopefully by the time this has exhausted itself, this one will be producing some big tomatoes for us. Again, another tomato. I've been using some plumber's pipe here, just cut into maybe about 10 inches and pushed into the ground. Then I just put a bottle of water in. It's got a hole in the bottom and a hole in the top, and it's kind of a drip system, so if I'm worried about the heat, because it's been very hot here, very warm here for the past month, which the plants love, and they've been growing very well. This is also another courgette plant. That courgette plant that I was referring to is the new seed, the yellow courgette plant. Another tomato, also dwarf tomato, courgette plant. It's one that the dog managed not to kill. Another tomato, another courgette plant, and then I think these are marigolds. I can't remember, but they, however they grow, they're not very pretty. I'm not sure I'd plant them again. I planted them because they were recommended for attracting insects, but we don't seem to have a problem attracting insects in this garden. Another tomato plant, another courgette, waiting for that to come up. Tomato, and then what do we have in the back here? Got another cucumber here, which I picked up the other day. We've got some peas, another tomato. This is an aubergine plant, another one which I just picked up. Down in the back there I've got another tomato. I think these ones are too close, and this area here gets so much direct sun, anything that you plant here just dies. Another tomato, cucumber, dwarf beans here, tomato, another aubergine, tomato that needs to be thinned out. These are again the money makers. Oh, and corn. I've just bought these corn. These are climbing beans, and I realised that they were doing much better in other places, and I couldn't work out why. And yesterday I read about it could be the effect of the fertiliser I've used. It might be too much nitrogen for them. Anyway, you live and you learn. Another cucumber, another tomato, and the ones in the first two rows here and on the other side, these are dwarf. So in the back, all of the climbers, anything that's going to get tall, that's where I place them. It looks like these beans might be flowering soon. Tomato. And this area here, for some reason, nothing likes to grow very well here. I don't know what it is, but I've had a bean plant die and a tomato plant die, so I dare not plant anything in there. And another tomato plant back there, and this may look a little overcrowded, and it is, but you know, I'm just experimenting. That little guy at the back there, that's a melon as well, which I'm hoping to train along here. And then the dark leaves here, these are the courgettes, and ta-da, my first fruit is appearing. This is the dud fruit has already appeared, so I've knocked that off, and this is the first one that I can probably hopefully eat. And then the pièce de résistance is this massive pumpkin vine, and this is going to be a Big Max pumpkin, and I'm hoping to train it all the way along and get the melons and other pumpkins, spaghetti squash pumpkins, training along there as well, and hopefully there'll be no gate visible, or not gate, any fence visible, and that'll all be covered by masses of green leaves. I'm sure it's going to happen. It's already happening now, actually. If you look out onto the street, all you can see are these massive pumpkin leaves and courgette. But anyway, I'm really happy with the progress of the garden. A lot of work has gone in. Today was my first harvest, and I'm expecting that courgette to be harvested probably within a day or two. Bye bye.